Greetings, greetings. It is that time of the week, Transformational Tuesday. Today, I want to talk about specifically the difference between a DIY approach to your career journey and getting unstuck versus working one on one with someone. So I've had several people, a couple of people were confused about it. A couple of people wondered what the difference was, and some people just flat out said, I'm going to try that DIY. It just seems cheaper. I'm going to go for it and try it. So I thought I'd come on and explain the difference and just give you a perspective for some of you as to why the DIY may not be the best approach for you. It could be, but I'm just saying, I'd like for you to consider some of these subject areas around it that I'm going to talk about in this Transformational Tuesday, because first and foremost, you are totally responsible for your career. No one is. And if there's anything else you want to do, is you want to make sure that in owning your career and in owning your career trajectory, you are going to make the best effort, every single aspect of effort towards making sure that you're successful. Every resource that's available to you, you need to take a hold of. And when it comes to coaching and career advisory, the DIY approach that you may see out there, these are, the do-it-yourself kind of courses that lay out for you an approach, or it may lay out for you steps, and you have to figure out how to implement those steps. In a lot of cases, you may even have to figure out what each one of them truly means. So that is the difference between working one-on-one with someone who can explain to you along the way each step of their methodology, the really nitty-gritty parts of the steps, the modules, the things that you need to implement along your journey. And one of the main things I want to mention is that it is one-on-one. The fact that you can connect with that individual that is working with you, that advisor, that coach, they get to know you as an individual, not someone who you're just seeing on a video and you don't have the time, the actual opportunity to have a true connection, for that person to really get to know, for instance, who you are. That is one of the major differences between a DIY approach, where you might go out and buy a set of books or lessons and do it yourself, versus someone who has the methodology and they connect with you, and that you have that opportunity to give and take in discussion, and you have that opportunity to bounce it off of each other. You have that opportunity to really get a depth of understanding about whatever aspect, tool, skill that you're trying to implement in an area of your opportunity or weakness. So having that one-on-one engagement really takes your chance of success to a total different level than a DIY approach would be. The other aspect that is, I don't know that I could categorize or explain this with any more gumption than just my fervor behind it, is that most DIY, if not all of them, are just canned approaches. They're canned offerings that are put out there in the universe for the taking of whomever would like to take them. And the fact that they're canned could be problematic for you, because your situation and your corporate environment and your career journey is unlike anyone else's. As you've heard me say often, Who we are personally is who we are professionally. You hear me say that all the time. And so, therefore, your career journey, because you are not anyone else, you are you. And so, your personal experiences are what is feeding into your career trajectory. And so, therefore, that canned one size fits all approach is not going to completely work in every aspect that you need it to. It is not going to give you that platform, that springboard, that foundation you need in order to be successful because it may not fit your situation. It definitely is not going to fit who you are. Canned approaches, DIY solutions are usually not carte blanche perfect for everyone in this career coaching, career advisory space. Your company is different than someone else's company. Its culture is different. How things get done is different. The workplace politics, which is how things get done, is different in your company versus someone else's. So if you decide to take that DIY approach that's off the shelf and take it into your environment and try to apply it, and then you're wondering why it's not working or you're continuing to be stuck and you're not moving forward, you don't see any positive progress in the direction you need to see it in, that is probably why. That is exactly probably why, is because it doesn't fit you. It doesn't fit you. You need a more specialized something that fits your situation. And when you have the DIY approach, you don't have the opportunity to connect with the author of it. You don't have that opportunity to connect with the author such that you can say, hey, module 2 isn't quite working for me. What do I need to do different? Or can we talk about a different approach? Doesn't exist in these DIY solutions. So don't get me wrong. Like I said, in the title of this, I said it may not work for you. For some people, they like doing things on their own, figure it out. And for some people, hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I would offer to you, and I know that you are the same as me, the career is important. You didn't do all the hard work of doing such that you can continue to struggle and get stuck. So you definitely, for you, it's not, hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And you're the person that is better served by a more intimate one-on-one engagement where somebody gets to know you and the nuances around your experience so that they can shape a solution that fits you and the environment you're in. So as you're thinking about how are you going to go about getting unstuck, how are you going to go about making sure that if you're transitioning into a new role and a new company, that you want to make sure that you're successful this time out the gate? If you are a person who is in the midst of transitioning and you're not sure which way to go and you need help in your relaunch, really think twice about taking the DIY approach and invest in yourself and connect with someone who has your best interest at heart and is providing an offering to you and a solution to your problem, to your situation, and that they are committed to working with you and being with you along the journey. It's too important. This is too important for you to just decide, oh, I'm going to chance it and pick this off the shelf over here because it's $5.97 or it's $300, which is cheaper than, what someone else is telling me, or, it worked for this one person I know. Think twice about that. Take a step back. You know who you are and you know what you need. Don't shortchange that. Don't shortchange that because you're worthy of it. You're worthy of the time that it takes for the one-on-one engagements. Yes, they are time intensive. Yes, they are really deep and really really hard, crucial work that happens. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, it's a financial investment. It is all of those things, but it's absolutely worth it in the long run. So think about these three areas that I shared with you tonight as to why the DIY approach may not be best for you. And if you want to get into a like-minded community, I put a link into my private Facebook group. I'd love to have you join me in that private Facebook group with the rest of us that are on the career journey that also agree, hey, the DIY didn't work for me. So let me get into a group of like-minded individuals so we can grow together. And I share nuggets of wisdom through my career journey and methodologies that I know work, that I've used. I share in that private Facebook group. And there's quite a bit of other things that you get a benefit of in being in that group. That'd be your first step in deciding, I'm not going to be part of the masses that are under the DIY approach. I'm going to take this pathway, because I mentioned to you it's a private Facebook group, so it's not filled with thousands of people. And the people that are there want to be there, and they're there, they have the same like-minded. That's what you want. That's the same thing you want when you connect with a career advisor or a coach. And that's the difference between doing the one-on-one engagement versus the DIY. So take the first step. Love to have you in my private group. And if you've got any questions, further questions, send me a message, send me a DM. If you're in Facebook, send me a message on Instagram. You can find me there. YouTube, drop me a comment. You can go to my website and send me an email. If you've got any more questions around this is the reason why I picked this topic for this Transformational Tuesday, because I've been getting a lot of questions when I'm talking to people and consultation calls and, trying to figure out what's best and what's the difference. And I've actually had some people who have tried the DIY approach to no avail. So I wanted to come on and prevent more of you from going down the wrong path. All right. So take great care of yourselves, and we'll see you next week. Transformational Tuesday. Linda Talaferro from the TV Extra Effort. Take care.